All right, firmware updates for the 1DX Mark III. Nobody cares about that camera. The R5 and the R6, which we all care about. All right, let's get into the video. Well, hey, what's up? My name is Tony and I'm a filmmaker photographer in the St. Louis area. Today we are outside at 70 degrees, nice soft overcast lighting, and I am at a random campsite. So we're doing this little upgrade or this update video for the firmware versions 1.3 on the R5 and the R6. Now I have already updated my firmware, so we're shooting on the R5 right now. And I am on version 1.3. I haven't had any trouble with it. I've been using it for a little bit throughout the day, but no problems. I usually don't have problems with firmware updates. When they get to my place for the general public, they're pretty ironed out. So if you've got an R5, R6, go ahead and update. It's time. Go for it. It's fine. They're gonna be solid for you. There's several things included on this. If you haven't heard already, the big one is for the R5, you get Clog3, which is really cool because that's what I use on all of my cinema cameras. Some other really cool things that are added to the R5 is you can now shoot 120 frames per second at 1080. So now you can do it full HD on an SD card, so you don't have to use the CF Express card. So those are some big things. And then for both cameras, they added IPB light, which is an interesting move. And then for the R5 again, they added Cinema Raw light. So now you can shoot in 8K RAW in smaller files, which is kind of cool. I don't use 8K terribly too much, but when I do, it's nice to be able to have smaller files. So big point for this video that I want to do is just show you some of the Clog3 footage and explain why it's kind of a big deal to have this on a mirrorless camera. So Clog is essentially the first log. It's the easiest to grade. It's pretty forgiving. Clog3 actually takes you to that next level of dynamic range. So you're going to get a little bit better highlights. You're going to get just a little bit better quality log footage. The one in between, Clog2, that's actually the most dynamic range, but it's the hardest to grade. And really, it's tough. Like, I don't hardly ever shoot in Clog2 just because it's pretty hard to color grade. And so I'm really excited about Clog3. That's what I use on the C70. That's what I use. C300, the C200, all of the hundreds, I'm pretty much shooting in Clog3. So very nice addition, and I'm glad that I now have it on the R5. A couple other bugs that they fixed as well, and yeah, you can now save and load camera settings. So when you wipe out your camera and you start fresh, you can put those settings back in and you can start with anybody, all the same with your settings. So a really good update. I'm kind of excited for some of these things. For the R5, there's some significant advantages. The R6, it's pretty cool, and it takes care of some of the bugs that maybe you do encounter or maybe not. They're just regular updates that you need to do. So with all that being said, why don't we jump into some footage from the R5 shooting in Clog3. And what I may do is shoot the same exact thing on a, say, a tripod, so that you can see this is Clog and this is Clog3, and you can see the difference between the two, and then I'll throw a grade over both of them. So, all right, let's jump into some of that footage. Let's go. All right, so we are going handheld here. Sorry guys, I didn't bring my gimbal. So this is the setup. We've got the R5 with a Rode Video Micro just to catch some nice audio, and then the 70-200 right there, which I have updated that firmware as well, along with a variable ND filter. And so let me show you real quick before we start recording how you can tell, one, which Clog you are in. So basically it's very similar setup. You just go to your Canon log setup, and then in here when you select this, you'll see, oops, sorry, focus problems. You'll see both Clog and then Clog3. So say you record a clip and you want to know if it's in Clog or Clog3, so we recorded it. Now if you hit play and you go to info, you can toggle through here if you don't see these. Just get to this one and it will show you it is in Clog right there. So then if we record in log 3, Same thing, we're recording. Notice the jump in exposure. It's quite a bit brighter, and I didn't touch the exposure at all. And so you'll see right off the bat that the screen is visibly brighter. And so that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to be playing with this, you better get used to what this looks like. So now we can pop this off, and you can see here it says same place, Clog3. All right, so now you know the setup. By the way, rocking the new tripod, the Peak Design travel tripod, and then I got my new Peak Design bag too. So life is better, and man, am I a mess here. So let's get into this footage. Here we go. All right, well, as you can see, the Clog3 looks really good. I'm just really impressed with these cameras. I really am. I love the R5, I love the R6, which is what we're shooting on again. And it's just, they're really good quality, and they're dependable. I haven't had any of my cameras ever like overheat on me. So if that's something that you're still worried about, maybe you're trying to decide, do you want the R5, do you want the R6, but you hear all these nightmares. I use my cameras a ton, and I fully rely on them. I mean, I took it to Africa, and the thing didn't overheat on me. So with all that being said, all of those drama stories that you hear, sure, it's possible if you're recording in 4K 60 or whatever for an hour, but I'm not gonna do that with 4K 60. If I'm shooting long form videos, it's gonna be in 4K 24 because I want it that real time, and I've never, ever had any trouble with them overheating. So other than that, if you've got questions about your R5, your R6, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There's all sorts of videos on tutorials and gear and all sorts of fun Canon stuff. Also, there's a lot of people that have been sending me DMs on Instagram. Totally welcome to answer any questions that you might have regarding your EOS R, EOS R5, R6, basically any of your camera stuff. It's really cool. I love this community of YouTube, and I'm glad that I can share it with you. All right, guys, hope to see you later this week. Take care.